last year, we did a story on the podcast about a group of former legislators, Democrats and Republicans, more than half of which are working as lobbyists today, who filed suit against the people of Michigan and their term limits law, trying to overturn it, using such a broad argument that it was a really outrageous measure, and it got a lot of press in Michigan at the time. Well, it just went through the process, and I know that you've seen the result.
Yeah, they have been defeated.
Yes.
The lawsuit has failed miserably. You lose. You get nothing. Good day, sir.
That's right. It is true. I mean, this Grand Rapids federal district judge rejected this suit in no uncertain terms. In fact, it was dismissed with no merit, and there were no oral arguments because the judge said that they were unnecessary.
It was defeated. Yeah, it was defeated during the pre-trial period, like during the motions.
Yeah, it was really outrageous. I mean, first of all, some of the arguments they made were the exact ones that were made back in 1998, the first time that Michigan lobbyists and legislators and anti-term limits folks got together and tried to sue over this. This is the second time it's gone to federal courts, and this is the second time the court said, no, this is entirely legal. And it passed. It exists in other states. Now it's been there for 30 years. And as the judge said, Judge Janet Neff, if the people don't like it, they can put a referendum on the ballot and overturn them.
That's the thing. They know they can never win on the ballot.
Right.
If you can't beat them, cheat them. So they went to court and they decided they were going to waste thousands of dollars in public funds trying to convince a judge that term limits are unconstitutional. It was embarrassing, actually, because you had their lawyers in court and they were trying to make a policy debate. I mean, that's laughable. The court's job is to apply the law, not make the law. I would say, these guys should be almost disbarred for filing something so frivolous. It's kind of against the code of ethics for an attorney. It's a joke.
Yeah, it was really a Hail Mary by the lobbyists and political elite in Lansing. It really was. I read over the entire decision, which is not that long, and it's got some pretty damning stuff in it. For one thing, one of the arguments that was made by the lobbyists and politicians was that this violates the guarantee clause of the Constitution, and that the distinguishing feature of this is, quote, the right of the people to choose their own officers for governmental administration and pass their own laws. All right, think about that. So the right of the people, the guarantee clause is to ensuring that we have a Republican form of government. The people have the right to choose their officers and pass their own laws.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Were there any interesting laws passed by the people of Michigan directly in 1992?
Yeah. Let's call that the Term Limits Amendment.
Oh, my God.
And by the way, who since then has passed some 30 years ago? Who has been electing the officers in the state of Michigan since that time? The people?
The people.
Yeah. Okay. So this was a laughable one, and Judge Neff just threw it out the window.
She did. And kudos to the Michigan Secretary of State, Jocelyn Benson, and the AG, Dana Nessel, two Democrats who were on the right side of history here. They had it right. You do not have a constitutional right to be a politician. Sorry, guys. Time to go home and get a real job.
Yeah, that was one of their arguments. Yeah, you took away my right to be a politician.
Here's the thing with Michigan, though, because this just keeps coming up over and over again. Sometimes it's a lawsuit. Sometimes it's murmurs in the Capitol. Sometimes it's op-eds, fake town halls. And it's like they have a weird dynamic. There was not a single normal Michigan person supporting this lawsuit. They were all insiders. There were no ordinary people even supporting it publicly. And Michigan has this dynamic where 10 million people live there, and of that 10 million, 9,999,000 love term limits. 1,000 people in Michigan hate term limits. But those 1,000 people, they're the ruling elites. They're the bureaucrats, the legislators, the lobbyists, the pundits, the reporters. They're the people with the biggest megaphones, biggest platforms. And then they go out, they create this illusion in the press that ordinary people have a problem with term limits. It could not be further from the truth, and it was glorious to see the court smack them down.
Thanks for joining us for another weekly episode of No Uncertain Terms. For this week's action item, I'd point you to a great new tool found at termlimits.com/takeaction. This site is a progress report of all of our target states for advancing the term limits convention bills in 2021. The site will tell you where the term limits convention bill stands in your state, whether it's been introduced or even passed one or more committee votes, so you can track its progress. If it's been introduced in your state, there is a Take Action button, which allows you to quickly and easily send the relevant legislators a message urging them to support the bill. It will take 2 minutes. You can find this progress report at termlimits.com/takeaction. Thank you, and happy Term Limits Day, February 27th. We'll be back next week.
The revolution isn't being televised. Fortunately, you have the No Uncertain Terms podcast.